and you give up, and that's also causes where you see in our world today a lot of mental health issues. People get depressed and stuff like that because what they see on social media, it's not necessarily reality.
That's it.
And now we're bringing in artificial intelligence. It's stepping it up to another game. So what we need in our society is people who are critical thinkers. You're going to look at something and say, you know what, okay, this looks nice, but maybe we want to look behind it, and other ways of doing things. It's very, very important.
That's powerful. I want to take it back to your early beginnings as well. You were a promoter at one point, if I'm not mistaken.
I used to be promoted. I mean, I still promote now, but on the social side, the community side. But I was involved doing promotions. Big up Gary T. We used to do, brought the Fugees here. Did a lot of behind the scenes with a lot of hip hop shows. I used to do a lot of stuff in the reggae industry here in Montreal. Under a name of Vibe Time Entertainment. So so I've seen a lot where what it takes to put on an event, what it takes to put on a successful event, and being successful as far as even on a financial aspect too as well, because sometimes we see a lot of these events that there's a lot of people, but you look at the end of the day now, that to say the math is not mathing because you're spending $2 to make one, and that's the reason why I kind of like branched out into doing different things, because when the math ain't mathing, I don't like to waste my time, and then also too I don't want to lose friendships because there's the money thing. So I just took a step off from the promotion game back then, and then I started going into the mixtape game, which was very lucrative back in the day.
Interesting. So mixtapes. And who was the first hip hop artist you were listening to, and what made you drawn to that culture?
Well, so if we're going back now, so who did the song there? Hip hop, hip hop.
Grandmaster. I think it's
Grandmaster.
Grandmaster.
Well, that was the first song, right? Because I grew up in that era now when hip hop or rap started to explode on the scene, right? Going back to the Run DMC and the Adidas and all of that type of stuff, and like any youth was drawn to that culture, right? Wearing the Kangol hats. But the thing with me now, because within I had a lot of come from a Jamaican household, Jamaican friends, I was more into the reggae thing. So I had the Kangol hats and the Clarks and the stuff like that. But we're just caught up in that culture, and there was like a lot of energy, positive energy. I remember going downtown and seeing a lot of breakdance shows and things like that. So it was a very cool time in Montreal, and you hear about Brother Duke Eatman and Butcher T and stuff like that. Like those guys, we used to look up to them. I mean, I went to school briefly with Duke and stuff like that. He was always into the music and stuff like that. Me, I would say I wasn't deep into the music because I was a sports guy. So the sports was my thing. But I was always, back in the day, have the cassettes, listening to the radio, press record on your little box, and then you could go back and listen to it another time, So it's analog. I don't know people, if the kids out there can really, relate to it, but that's how we how we got our music, and we'd get music from families and friends,